I've been looking for a filming location for ages, well, at least thinking about it, somewhere where it's just really relaxed, and I accidentally found this place today. This is a hotel that I've been coming to quite regularly, but never in this area. So I'm gonna do a video today, and I was just thinking about this actually. This would be great, and I'm confident. I know I'm going to get the opportunity soon when I go on podcast shows to speak about it, because it's kind of been the challenge of my whole life, and I feel like at almost 40, I've really come to a point in my life where I would say I've just come into like overcoming it, but it's been a lot of work, and I continue to help a lot of clients and people all around the world who follow these videos, and it's cliche to say what I'm going to say, but when I explain it, it can be life and death for some people. So I'm going to go deep, and it's the importance of being yourself and being who you are. And growing up, when I used to get inspired by other people, men and women, not just coaches, anybody, one of the things I always admired about them, and I always respected it, and I always felt like I wish I could do that. I wish I had a bit more of that. I don't have the courage, I have the confidence, I don't believe myself. When they were being themselves and they were being who they were, and they didn't care what people thought. And I want to explain the distinction. Now, when I'm saying that, at least from my point of view and what I teach and what I work on, I'm not saying that you go out and you be disrespectful to people. It's the opposite, or you hurt people's feelings, or you make people feel uncomfortable. I don't like any of that. That's the last thing. But at the same time, you be gentle, you be kind, but you don't hold back on who you are. You don't hold back on your opinion and what you love. So for example, let me give an example. So I meet people quite often throughout my life experience, and this is something that I used to do, and I've stopped doing it. And the question will come, people will ask me, what do I do for a living, or what do I like? And most of the time, not all the time, things change. But when I say to people I'm a confidence coach and I run my own business and I coach people, people get awkward, they get uncomfortable. They feel like I'm judging them, and I'm not, or I'm analysing their body language, or all their insecurities are now being x-rayed, and they're completely mistaken. Obviously, people that are confident in themselves and they love what they do, or they appreciate what I do, they don't react in that way, right? So why am I talking about that? Well, because there was a long time where I used to not be confident. I didn't want to hurt other people's feelings, but I wasn't honouring myself. I wasn't valuing who I am, and it's like being ashamed of what you do and who you are to a certain extent, because you're trying to be liked by everyone. I realised you can't be liked by everyone. And when you are yourself, and deep down people know this, look, you could be a saint. When you are yourself, a lot of people won't like you just off the basis that you are yourself. It offends people because they don't have the confidence to do it. But that's fine, because the people that will love you and like you, they will generally love you for who you are and what you do, and what in your opinions and your values and your hobbies and your goals and your interests. Now, again, context. That doesn't mean that someone that loves you and likes you is going to agree with everything you say. That's out of balance. But generally, they will love you for who you are. So that's why, I loved and still love Les Brown. I love David Goggins, because these people own who they are. They're not there apologising, and they're really good people. They're really nice people. And I used to always struggle with that concept because of my faith as a Christian, my upbringing. I still have it, really sensitive. I don't want to hurt people's feelings because I'm caring. I've got a lot of empathy. So I struggle to get this balance right. It's like, how do I be myself, respect everyone, but not let people bully me, and not play myself down or hide, and there is a balance. It's always in life, there's a balance. There's always a right way. But of course, that comes with it. You have to accept, and I've come to accept it, that you're going to be judged, you're going to be criticized. Some people won't like you, they don't even know you, and that's fine. That's where you have to be strong and forgive people, or just get on with it, have a strong character. And it's the best feeling in the world, because so many people today, men and women, of course it causes mental health problems. They're suffering from unhealthy amounts of anxiety and depression, even causes suicide, because they're ashamed of who they are. They don't have the confidence to be who they are. And I include that on all the platforms. I'm not just talking about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever platforms people are using. I'm on about in life, in real life, family, friends, and I just don't think that's right. And I've been there. I was suicidal in my early 20s, and we could go into different reasons. Oh yeah, childhood trauma, and there's a lot of truth in that. Yeah, childhood trauma, but one of the biggest traumas was a fear of being who God's made me to be. Even saying that back in the day, I wouldn't say that I believed in God, because it's like, I don't want to offend people. It might make them uncomfortable. What if they don't believe in God? Well, it's like, well, I respect other people. You don't have to believe in God, but this is who I am. It's what I believe in. But obviously, we do live in a complicated world. Now, obviously everyone's got a choice. If you don't be yourself in a certain context, and you don't do what you love, then you're never going to be happy. You're never going to love yourself. You can't. It's impossible, because you got to spend 24 hours a day of yourself. And if you're going, well, I love playing video games, but when I meet people, I'm going to hide that because they might make fun of me, and I'm going to not mention it, and I'm going to do things that they want me to do to fit in. That's madness. That's crazy. I ain't doing that. That's no way to live. And I love the feeling when you meet people that live like you do, you have a connection, they really respect you. I mean, I think everyone should respect everyone, pretty much. But there is a context where, you respect people more when you see that they've got the courage. And these are the people that are always changing people's lives. I'm not just picking myself up, I'm talking in general. Before I was teaching and helping people change their lives, when I was a quote unquote nobody, even though now I don't see myself that way, but looking back, that's how I felt. I didn't have any money, no one knew me, I didn't help anyone in the sense of coaching. I was always a kind person growing up. So to do anything in this world and to really be somebody, you can't please everyone. You can't even look. Who is it? Anybody. I'm not even going to mention names. I'll stick to me for this video. So this is a big part of getting over social anxiety, because we've all done it. We've all done it. I've done it. We can all play roles. We can all put a mask on, and people please, or we don't speak our mind when we should, or someone asks, for example. People ask me now, I don't drink alcohol. I gave up alcohol. Now, I'm not judging anyone who drinks. That's none of my business. And I used to drink. I never had a problem with alcohol, but I've got an addictive personality, and I just feel better without drinking alcohol. I don't need alcohol to socialize. I'm confident without it, and it's something that I've just lost interest in it. So no one's going to force me to drink. I've got my own boundaries. So things like that, that's part of being who you are, where if I'm with a group of people, and I know that they're not going to like me, and they're not going to like it when they say, do you drink? And I say, no, I don't drink. I don't care. I don't care what they think. I care what I think. If they don't want to be friends with me, or if someone doesn't want to go out with me, they like me, and then when I reveal that I don't drink alcohol, and they start questioning me why, because it's a personal choice, and it goes in line with my faith. I feel God's instructed me, and I want to do it myself. And if I want to have a drink, if I change my mind and it feels right, I'll do it. But I'm not being bullied into drinking to fit in. I'm not being bullied into anything. I'm not being bullied into doing a job that I don't want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that is the great thing about balance. You can still be a good person and respect other people. And I can even respect someone who don't like me, who don't like the career that I do, who doesn't understand me. But I can still do me. I can still continue in doing me. And I've been doing a hell of a job at doing me, but it hasn't been easy getting it. I've had to go through suicidal depression in my 20s, wanting to kill myself and then not wanting. I've had to have a nervous breakdown at 34 after being successful, somewhat being myself, but evaluating, still not being fully who I am to a certain degree. And now it's a continuous growing process, but at almost 40, I feel the most confident, securest I've ever been in my life, and the journey continues. And I love helping people who ask me for help and who pay me and give me permission to help them with how they can be more confident. So yeah, just been thinking about that. It's a conversation I never get bored of. I hear other people talking about it, my mentors, you guys, you girls, my clients. But listen, I can understand it's not an easy thing to do. It's easy to say it. It's easy, it's cliche. It's easy to come on a video when there's no one around you criticizing you and say, be yourself, own who you are, live your dreams. I agree with all that. But doing it takes an absolute warrior, especially when you've come from the place I've come from, when you've been frightened of people, you've been shy, you've been bullied, you've been insecure, you've been socially awkward. When you come from that place, it's not easy. It's not easy. Part of you thinks that you're going to die if you be yourself. Some people do. Some people take their own life because they can't handle the criticism. And I've got nothing but, I mean, words are compassion. It's a tragedy. But I think it's a generational thing, and I think it's a thing it's an ongoing struggle. Before we was on this earth, people have got a fear, because deep down we've all got a fear of not being loved and accepted. But we have to understand we don't need everyone to love us. You know, my mum loves me unconditionally, my nan, my dad. I love myself, and I know that God loves me. So I don't need everyone to love me, and I don't need everyone to like me, and I don't need everyone to understand me. I understand myself, kind of. I love myself, and that's how I become successful, and it's worth it. It's worth the criticism. It's worth the challenges. There's no other option for me. The first 15 years of my life, I was a people pleaser. I wasn't myself. I was a good person. I had a good heart, but I was all over the place. And going on the journey, the great people, the boxing, the entrepreneurship, the mentorship, my dad, all these experiences have enabled me. Even people that put me down, even people that wouldn't let me be myself at the time when I didn't have the character to stand up for myself, it's all helped me to change. So it's a big thing, you know, but I understand. I totally get it, especially for people. For men and women in their 20s, it's hard in your 20s. I found it so hard. I think it gets easier as you get older. You care less. I remember my dad saying that to me. He said, as you get older, you just stop caring as much, because you're getting older, you know, and your perspective changes, your values. You just care about things that are important. You ain't got time for BS no more. But of course, it's also understanding and me having patience that you've got to appreciate where someone's at. So if I'm coaching someone who's struggling to be themselves, I know what that feels like. I haven't lost sight of that. So I'm not going to be selfish and say, oh, just do it, it's easy, I've done it. It's like, no, that takes time, it takes work, and it depends on the person. And for those people out there who never had this problem, I love you, I appreciate you. I don't want you to suffer like I did. You might have just grown up in a family, or your upbringing, your background was different, where you didn't have these fears. We've all got fears, but you were naturally outgoing. I weren't like that, or at least, actually, I kind of was, but then I got bullied and crushed physically, verbally, and I was frightened, I was scared to death. So I became someone else to make people like me and to fit in, and that didn't work in the end. It nearly, you know, made me suicidal and gave me all these anxiety issues. So yeah, when you own who you are, it's a different energy. It really isn't. It really is. You feel it in your heart. Like, this is right. This is you know, this is who I am. This is who I'm supposed to be. Then you can just crack on and enjoy life, you know. And I think another level of growing, and I haven't mastered it yet, but I have made a lot of progress because of good people, faith, and my own determination. When you can accept that someone or people don't like you, they don't understand you, or they're insecure, or they're jealous of you, if you cannot hate them, it doesn't mean you've got to hang out with them and have dinner with them, but still love them as a person. This isn't easy, man. You go to another level, and that's actually that's not an ego thing. That's not, oh, I'm doing that because I want something back. It's just compassion. It's appreciating, and you know, I don't think you can lose that way. I really don't. So, you know, I know it's a big ask, and you know, I'm all about growing, and I got loads of growing to do. You don't stop growing because well, at least for me, you're going to be 40, or you're a successful teacher, and I've been coaching for 11 years. You know, I've got loads to learn, loads more to grow. So for me, it's all growth. It's all part of learning and living, and that's why I'm so grateful for the good men and women that have inspired me, and I see them growing. Watch how authentic they are and how genuine. and have a little bit of fun, and I don't take myself so serious as well. I can step outside and say, oh, you know, that part of me, I'm cheesy there, I'm dramatic there, I'm ridiculous there, I'm like a child there, but I really love that about myself. I like that. It's not perfect. It's not perfection. None of us are perfect, but there is a perfect balance of living according to your values, whatever that is, you know, doing the best you can to be a good person. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want to, you know, treat people well, but I'm not walking on eggshells, you know. And technically, you're going to ruffle some feathers when you speak your mind and when you live according to what you want to do and you're successful, because not everybody's going to like that. People are going to get jealous. Unfortunately, that is part of the human character if it isn't worked on. And I've been there myself. I know what that's like. So, yeah, the coffee and this environment, and lately, and I think I've just been thinking, if I'm being honest with all of you, more honest, lately, I'm really just been obsessed with the whole storytelling. People that go out there and they really do put it all on the line to help other people, and they are really good people, and that's what I want to do more. And I know you people are great. You've been telling me that you do that. You've done it for me. I've done it. I know I can do more, and I want to do more, and it's happening, and I appreciate it. I want to make a bigger impact, and I can only do that. I can only do that by being vulnerable and being myself and being more and opening up more, and being honest with people. You know, someone asked me at my event on Sunday, great question from one of my clients who's doing my 1-year program at the event. He said to me, how do you make money in business? How do you, you know, in the right way, how do you help people? And I said, he said, how do you serve people? Not just for making money. I said, you've got to tell them the truth. You've got to be real with them. You've got to be honest. You've got to face that fear of giving everything that you've got. And when you do that, people feel it. They feel it in their heart. They appreciate it. And whether they pay you or not makes no difference. But if you do what I'm saying, you will definitely make money, and you deserve to make the money. But it's not about the money. Although money's part of, obviously, you've got to make a living, and when I come to any hotel, it's a business. I've got to pay for coffee, but there's times where they give me it for free. But it's about the truth. It's about being honest with people, and that's how you help them. You tell them their story. That's how Les Brown changed my life, for free, by telling me the truth about how he changed his life and how I could do it for myself, which I've done. So you tell people the truth, you know, and you do it from a good place. You do it from a place of love, from honesty, from being sincere, without some kind of agenda. And that's when people feel it and they change, you know. So all these things are what I've been thinking, feeling, and this hasn't just been today this come to me, even though it came today. It's been years and years of working, learning, growing, teaching, learning. Remember, I'm a student as well. I'm a teacher, but at heart, I've always been a student. That's why I love learning from other people, all right?